I'm going to take you to my hotel room in Russia where I went climbing on Mount Elbrus, the tallest mountain in Europe. The hotel room is very simple, but this detailed, in-depth video will show you almost all the gear and everything that I brought to Mount Elbrus, and I talk about the why of why I brought the things that I did, the necessary equipment, the requirements, the medications, everything, so you get a good idea of what it takes to go climb a mountain that big in a very distant and unfortunately right now difficult to get to country. So let's go to Russia so I can show you what it's like. I'm here after my climb of Mount Elbrus, the tallest mountain in Europe, and I've got my whole pile of gear here, and instead of just putting it away and getting ready to go, I thought I'd share and show you what it's like and what it takes to climb a mountain. The pile of gear that is required to climb a high mountain, especially one of the 7 summits, is pretty astounding. You can't just put on your hiking shorts, get a shirt, and then get some runners and go up these sort of mountains. It requires a lot more gear. It's actually really annoying for me because I traditionally am a pretty lightweight or ultralight backpacker. So having all this stuff here that I'm going to show you, there and there, it's actually kind of irritating for me because it's like, oh, do I really need it? Well, do you want frostbite? No. Do I really need this? Yeah, you gotta have crampons. So let's talk about the different gears required. The different gear that's required to climb a mountain like Mount Elbrus. So as you can see here, you just start with. So as you see here, you start with this pile of gear, and we'll just go left to right and just describe all the different items and show you what it's like. So you gotta start off traditionally. People use the Nalgene bottle or some knockoff variation of it that's pretty popular. One thing too, if you're in an expedition with a lot of people, I hate marking my name because you think everybody's thievery. It's actually not true. Most people climbing, they never mess with your stuff. It's just when you've got this whole pile of stuff, you want to know what your gear is, and you think, hey, what's the big deal? A Nalgene bottle is a Nalgene bottle. Ha ha ha. Well, what if somebody got ice in there, got dust in the or grit in the threads or something, tore it up, and then you get your bottle back that you think is your bottle, and all of a sudden it starts leaking. Ooh, what do you do? So a lot of times people are very happy with Nalgene bottles. They're super popular. And I've got a whole bunch of different ones here. A little mini one in this pouch here. This is the all-important pee bottle, yes. Because when you get the call of nature at 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. and 6 a.m. because it's freezing cold and you drank too much tea the night before, you got to have that thing. For warmer expeditions, it's no big deal, but on a colder expedition, the thermos, even though it's heavy, is super nice. Let's see. They call this mountain money. Yes, toilet paper. You need toilet paper because when that hits you, you need it. Ice axe is probably the #1 piece of equipment that you have to have in mountaineering. More than almost anything else. I would argue even more than crampons. Let's see, what else do we have here? Another water bottle to drink out of. I just get these guys at the grocery store and I don't spend the $4 at the airport. And that way I've got a couple bottles that I can lose and dispose of. My Write in the Rain journal, it's critical so I can write my expedition. I can write my expedition notes here. And I use a Fisher Space Pen. That thing is pretty awesome. Selfie stick if you need to do videos. Always need some sort of pocket knife if you need to cut whatever, rope or something. One of the problems is, of course, you can't carry this on, but I'll show you other things like, I don't know, your ice axe you can't carry on either. Trekking poles. All sorts of variations here. Mine are pretty worn out. I need to replace the parts. I used to be against trekking poles because I couldn't stand it, but now they actually feel like cheating as I'm walking along. It saves a lot of energy for balance, so that's a key thing about that. Wet wipes. You can never have enough wet wipes. And a bag of headlamps. Batteries. Oh boy, these lithium energizer batteries, they're the only way to go. Oh, let's see, drugs. Oh yeah, do you have stuff for nausea, headache, I use Tylenol, zithromycin. I'm not a doctor, I don't play one on TV, but you're going to need some drugs on an expedition, no doubt. Let's see, what do we have here? Aquaseal. I use Aquaseal to repair my gear. If your buckle breaks on your big backpack, what are you going to do? You bring a spare buckle. That's a key thing for me. An American flag, if you're one of those climbers that likes to unfurl their flag at the top and show it, that's something to have there. Some repair tape for your gear. All critical first aid kit. You tear yourself up, I highly recommend these Band-Aid, whatever they are, super tough skins. Really, really good. Let's see what else. If you're going to a questionable country with unknown water, a little bit of water treatment, definitely key. Tylenol and more zithromycin. Hey, look, more toilet paper. Need some more of that business. Get on to some more of the climbing gear. You're gonna need some rope of some sort. This is accessory cord. Then the other key thing to mountaineering when you're up in the glacier are crampons. There are tons of variations of crampons. So I'll have another video about crampons, but gotta have these guys. And if you're doing mountaineering, chances are you have some sort of climbing harness. So that's key. We have all those in baggies. Let's see. What else do we have here? Sunscreen. Yeah, do you have enough sunscreen? That sun combined with the glacier, that roaring off the snow. Whoa, gonna get burned. Also, if you have to wear gloves a lot, the sunscreen that you rub on your nose, that's actually pretty darn handy. Now, you're probably traveling to a foreign country unless you're going to Alaska or something to do a big mountain. And let me get it out here. Did you bring your power adapter? This guy works in Europe and Russia, quite a few places. But a lot of times you end up with a situation where, you've got exactly one power outlet in the room. What do? You bring the power extender! That's right. And that way... Sorry, I'm doing this selfie sticking on a tripod. You can plug this in, have a lot more outlets for all of your little critical charging cubes. One thing I've gone to too is making sure to bring a couple of these little battery packs. Make sure you cannot put these in your check luggage. They have to be in the carry-on. But boy, when I'm out and about and I don't have solar ability, these little charging packs, after I burn through all my batteries, that's a godsend. Oh, what else? Oh, let's see. Toothpaste, deodorant, just endless, all the personal maintenance stuff. I do bring super glue, because if you get a minor cut or something, or cracks where you need to fix yourself up, a little bit of super glue is huge. Hand sanitizer. You gotta have some hand sanitizer. I always bring some business cards and extra pins. Guys, if you want to maintain yourself to shave, nothing exciting there. Let's see, flag. Lots of food bars. I always have food bars. Because you never know where you're going to end up in your 5-6 hours or you're starving. Oh my gosh, where's the food? And we'll come over here to clothing. If you're doing mountaineering with crampons, you're going to need some sort of crazy Italian boots. These are my sexy, crazy Italian boots. They did okay. I've got to work on it. I got a couple of torn up blisters on my feet. Yeah, that wasn't very enjoyable. Of course, you gotta get the ridiculously overpriced liners. I used to recommend these outright, but they're so expensive now. The money they charge for these is right. It's because they're the only game in town. They probably have a patent on them. But boy, once the patent runs out, somebody in China is gonna wipe them out pretty quick. These boot liners fit in these crazy Italian boots that you put your feet in. And of course, what do you put your feet in? Socks. A pile of smelly socks. My feet got rubbed so bad. Ooh, look at that blood on the sock. Oh. Depending on the mountain you're going to go on, you might need some super-sized mittens. They're extreme mountaineering. Always make sure to bring a couple of pairs of liner gloves. Really light. I love the outdoor research gloves. Those are my favorites. And then some different gloves. And hey, look, more gloves, endless gloves, that's right. Because depending on the temperature, you might have really thick gloves, but you need to manipulate something. Oh, this is quite challenging. And then you have this huge pile of headwear. Why this much headwear? Well, when I was on Elbrus at 4 or 5 in the morning, it was cold. I literally had all this headwear, plus my shell jacket hood, plus my down jacket hood, just to keep me warm. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like the, let's see if I can put this on here without shaking the camera too bad. All right. The balaclava, definitely a piece of gear. It's funny, you look like one of those old school medieval weenie guys, the ones that will always get killed in the movies. They always had masks like this, and so it's pretty funny. If you've got custom knit hats like this guy, oh, warm, and another custom knit hat, not as warm but better for sleeping. Always nice to sleep with a hat. Then you end up with these fleece type pants, and that's one layer over your long underwear, which is over your regular underwear. On this particular one, I wore 2 pairs of long underwear just because it was so cold. I always debate, just like on Kilimanjaro, do I add it or do I not add it? I can always take off my jackets and hats, but I can't take off my long underwear when I'm hiking up. But I found that if your legs are cold and you like start to shiver, your muscles become inefficient, and then climbing gets even tougher. I prefer wool shirts. These guys, icebreaker, sorry I can't hold it up doing the one hand thing. I ended up wearing 2, let's see what I had. My super thin sports shirt, it's outside drying. A thin wool shirt, a thicker wool shirt. Not this shirt, but another shirt that's drying. Then, where to go? My fleece jacket. I had my fleece jacket on top of that. And then I had my down jacket on top of that. And then I had my shell jacket on top of that. And then over my long underwear and fleece lined pants are my Gore-Tex shell pants. So you end up walking around like waddling all crazy again. And that's the only way to really do it. Let's see, long underwear, that, oh yeah. And critical thing, if you've never hiked around or done mountaineering or climbing or hiking, gaiters. You must have gaiters. There's one point in the climb, even though these boots are huge, they're almost $700, my toes were a little cold because I sat there for, I don't know, almost an hour while we made it to our starting point before we got going. So one of the recommendations from Mountain Tools, one of the guys I like, Larry there, he recommends, what are they called, super gaiters. Problem is that the super gaiters I have, I thought they were big enough. They're not. In the end, it would have warmed up my feet in the morning when it was really cold. That would have been good, but in the afternoon, when the sun came out, broiling, and my feet were already sweaty, so tough call. But if you're on a mountain where even though it's sunny and then it's still cold, super gaiters, the way to go. So, and of course, if you're traveling internationally, what do you need? El Pasporto! Yeah. And then chances are you're going to need some money. This is the Russian ruble. It's actually a pretty nice note. Probably going to need lots of that. Your wallet. Oh, yeah, I forgot these. You need your sunglasses because that sun at 12,000, 18,000 feet, that will incinerate your eyeballs. And which brings me to one of my last items here, which are the goggles. Last item, which are the goggles, because when the sun's roaring hot or the wind is out and it's blasting, here you can watch me struggle to try and put this on one-handed. These goggles, critical piece of equipment. So goggles plus passport equals will travel. So there you go. That is a basic synopsis of all the gear that I need for an expedition. I'm trying to think, you got to have some Mondo huge ridiculous backpack. Chances are on summit day you're not going to use that, so you're going to have another backpack. I need to get a lighter 50 backpack liters for climbing, because this guy's really nice and padded for travel, but I'm carrying 3 pounds of like foam and comfort, so I need to switch. Once I saw what other people were using from France and Russia, they use a different style pack, way better. I love that pack for travel, but the pack weight itself is just too heavy. Let's see, anything else? Oh, yep. Sun hat, you need one of these, because that sun is incinerating. What else, what else? Toothbrush, toothpaste. Oh yeah, when I travel, I always bring this little mask that you can put on your mouth. I don't know how many times I've been in an airplane where somebody's coughing up a lung. I get to my destination, I start traveling. Sure enough, 2 or 3 days later, oh gosh. So there you have it, travel pants, and make sure you always bring some sort of swim trunks or swimsuit or whatever you want to bring, and just have that. And the challenge is you got to have all this gear plus some travel gear so you're not stinking up the place. Extra socks, some shirts. It's a major production, so that's what it takes, and all the gear in a little snapshot to climb a mountain like Mount Elbrus, one of the 7 summits.